Geshe should be here any minute. They just had a little snafu with the transportation. They are well on their way any minute now. Thanks.
Sorry, this is, obviously I didn't read the script. Thank you. Good morning. Just take a minute and, take a deep breath and see if you can be here. trying to get everything together, especially if you have children and family, to be here can be difficult. Just remember that doing that is an incredible act of love. This meditation is going to be more my reading something very slowly, and you getting a chance to reflect upon it and rejoice in how much this already happens in your life. And that the only possible change, it's certainly true for me, is that we need to remember to set our intentions and to dedicate all of these incredibly wonderful things that each of us do every day for the benefit of ourselves and all beings. This is from Lama Yeshe. Share your love, your wisdom, and your wealth, and serve other beings as much as possible. Live in harmony with one another and be an example of peace, love, compassion, and wisdom. Try to be happy in your practice, to be satisfied with your life. Be reasonable in the way you grow. And please don't ever think that it's too late. Please don't be afraid of death. Even if you're going to die tomorrow, at least for today, keep yourself straight, clear, and be a happy human being. It's okay to get an ice cream cone with the intention of benefiting all beings and yourself, and then dedicating the merit of that incredible enjoyment that all other beings may at least have relative happiness. We have been asleep for countless lives, and now it's time to wake up. I'm going to, so take a deep breath, if you can. I can't right now. And I'm going to transition to an example of what I just read. It's a little bit of a story. We have an amazing family program here. And I think that the healthy, happy children we see are a shining example of parents doing everything that I just read about. And one of the most wonderful events that happened about a month ago was we had family Dharma camp with 38 children, 28 adults, and probably a lot of critters, particularly mosquitoes, that visited us. And we had a wonderful, wonderful time, full of laughter and learning and great s'mores. But one of the things that happened at that family Dharma camp is a wonderful person by the name of Selena Lowe Jones, who helped plan it, did a workshop for parents and children under 5. And it was about creating compassionate, secure connection. One of the things that happened at that workshop is she had a small altar set up. And on that altar was this statue. Sound effects? Some of you probably recognize Kuan Yin, a Buddha of compassion. This is the first time I had ever seen Kuan Yin with a child. And for me, this is such an image of bodhicitta, of the willingness to benefit no matter what. If you can't grow up and be healthy, you can't practice. So it's where it all starts. At the end of Family Dharma Camp, Selena offered this statue as a gift from the family program to the center. So, if I can get up gracefully, probably not. I would like the children to come just join and stand around me, please, if they would. Everybody kind of got a space here. You can get closer, it's okay. I heard he doesn't bite. And with this, we'll offer this to Geshe for the center.
Oh, very nice. Where's the marshmallow for the kids?
Where's the marshmallow? Sorry, they ate them all. Thank you very, very, very much. Oh. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, thank you. Oh. Where's the marshmallow?
In the Gold Prayer Book, please turn to page 34. If you have the white binder, please go to the page that says Kadampa Center Prayers, and we'll recite Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra 3 times. Taya ta om mane mane maha manaye soha teya ta om mane mane maha manaye soha Teyata om mane mane maha manaye soha. And now for the Medicine Buddha stanza and mantra. For those who have the white binder, it's on the blue page. Bhagawan with equal compassion for all, whose name when merely heard dispels the suffering of the lower realms, dispeller of disease and the 3 poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha, lapis light.
Ramla, 1 second. If you can visualize Medicine Buddha on your crown, so that's very good. So then if you cannot visualize Medicine Buddha, so please visualize bright blue light, which symbolize all the healing energy of 7 types of Medicine Buddha. So visualize that your body covered with this bright blue light. So then penetrate on your body like laser beam, okay? So then purify all the sicknesses, all mental difficulties, physical difficulties, completely be purified while you are saying the mantras, okay?
Teyata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samagate soha Teyata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samagate soha Teyata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samagate soha Teyata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samagate soha Teyata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samagate soha Teyata om bekanze bekanze Mahabekanze bekanze raja samugate soha Teyata om bekanze bekanze Mahabekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Now let's read the four immeasurables in English 3 times. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. I'll turn to page 37, and at the bottom there are 2 mantras. So we'll chant Chenrezig's mantra 8 times. He is the embodiment of all the Buddha's great compassion and wisdom. And then Green Tara's mantra 7 times. She is the deity of enlightened activity. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Thank you. The children are welcome to go to their class.
Very good. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, while the children are leaving, just want to let you know that we're going to have a short fall financial report from David Strevel. So it's important that 1 or 2 times a year we come to you and just make sure that you understand how all the finances work and how everything operates here. So David's going to give us a perspective and look into the financial matters. And he is the treasurer on the board of directors. Thank you, Mr. Strevel.
Thank you, and could someone back there near the light switch turn off the leftmost switch? Yeah, I think that'll make it a little easier for people to see. Yeah, that one. That's good. Thank you, Jill. I'm David Strevel, the treasurer of Kadampa Center, one of the board members, and a couple of times a year at least we try to do a presentation about our finances because, as we often say, our center depends on generosity. That's the only way we pay the bills. So now for a few minutes, I'm going to talk about, well, how big are the bills and how are we doing at paying them, things like that, and then kind of get geared up for the annual appeal for next year. So just to start off with here, I had a lovely photo of Geshe Sangpo with the refuge class that occurred last May, where we have enthusiastic new members coming to join us. And now today's subjects, I'm just going to speak about our organizational form, the financial results for this year to date, and then some information about next year's annual appeal. So I know many of you, those of you who have been here for years, have seen this slide before, where I talk about how we're a North Carolina corporation, a nonprofit charitable organization like other churches are. And we're managed by a board of directors led by Robbie Watkins, our center manager. I'm not sure if center director, sorry, he's not here. And Sandy Carlson is our president. I'm David Strevel, the treasurer. Royden Sa is the secretary, and there's 6 more members on the board. You can see all their names and pictures out there above the shoe rack out there in the back. And so every year it's the duty of the board to have a teaching program, figure out what the teaching program should be and supervise that in a general way, and also to supervise our finances. So we have to create a budget, and we have to have appeals for donations, and above all, we have to try to make sure that income equals expense. So launching right into a discussion of the year to date, here's a list of 6 big categories of income, and this is as of the latest month end where we have financial results on the book so far. But what it shows is that the annual appeal, that is monthly giving by people, and one-time gifts have amounted to about $96,000 so far this year, which is 70% of all our income. So the annual appeal is the single biggest thing we do, where people make a commitment for the year, or they pledge to make one-time gifts, and then those flow in over the year. Our other sources of income are all much smaller, like general giving. That means if people throw dollars in the plastic boxes out back, we have no idea who they were. We can't attribute it to anybody. We just call that general giving. And we have a few memorials and honoraria. Our spiritual program donations are about 9 or 10%. That's dollars given for visiting teachers and puja sponsorships and retreat costs. And I know there's one other category there, I can't remember. Then we have bookstore income. Bookstore, yes, Dharma classes, that's also a contributor there to the spiritual program. Bookstore income's 8 or 9% of our income. And then the children's program in camp, that takes quite a lot of money to run, comes from parents mostly. And miscellaneous, so we've come up to $138,000 there so far this year. So now let's look at the expenses for the year. And as at most churches, our personnel is our biggest cost. And that's 55%, 56% of the expenses. That's 2 geshes and 2 staff members, our center manager and our office manager, who's part-time. Spiritual program expenses mean the expenses of having pujas and retreats and classes. Committee expense is mostly the children's camp, but also the prison project, where our members go out and give away books and things at prisons. Facility operating expense, about 20% of the money, that's paying our mortgage and all our utility bills, keeping the center maintained. Administrative expense is office expenses, like for computers and software, things like that. Bookstore cost of goods, well, we can't sell stuff unless we buy it, so about 3/4 of all the money that we make at the bookstore actually has to go to buy the things we sell. And the volunteers contribute their effort, and we make a modest profit every year there. So that comes up to $177,400, and that number is quite a lot bigger than the income for this year. In fact, it's $39,300 different. And that is certainly a concern. It's not unprecedented. Often here around this time of the year, giving is lagging behind some, and then there's a big surge of annual giving at about the annual appeal time, November, December. So if you wonder why I haven't abandoned my job and headed for the hills due to the deficit, we have seen deficits like this before. It's something we really need to try to do something about in the next 3 months here by the end of the year. I'll give you a few more facts about it too, but there is reasonable hope that we can do it. I believe we will. So let's summarize the year then. $138,000 income, $177 in expense through August 31st, deficit 39. So those are the facts for this year to date. Income's about 78% of expenses, and we're hoping for a year-end surge of giving. Now let's, after that grim news, let's talk about a few good items here. A year ago, we owed First Citizens Bank $74,000 on our mortgage, and now we owe $54,000 because we keep paying every month, just like we're supposed to, and we're due to pay off the mortgage in about 30 months. We have been in this building for 11 years. We've had a couple of different mortgages. We've renegotiated a time or two, but I don't believe we're going to be doing that again. I think we're just going to keep on paying for the next 30 months, unless there was a happy occasion where some member said, hey, we'd really like to help you pay it off, in which case we would apply that to the mortgage. And they could even make a gift of the whole thing. So here's another point of good news this year. After years of wishing to do so, we actually started an IRA retirement plan for our 4 employees. And all 4 are participating, and we have Vanguard Investments managing it. And so every month employees can contribute part of their pay, and then the center kicks in. It's costing us about $2,000 a year in contributions from the center. So that's good news there. So our current financial situation, which is rather sobering, is as of a couple days ago, we had $11,000 in our checking account and $15,000 in our savings account, and that's basically all of our available funds. And this checking balance is only enough to pay the bills for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Our expenditures are about $22,000 a month in total. So it is a concern that the checking balance has sunk that low. And we were trying to reserve our savings account for special Dharma-related projects, but our funds are so low I've had to tap it just this last month to help pay the bills and get through to the surge of giving that we hope will be occurring during the annual appeal and erase the deficit. And yes, the board would certainly like to, if we can achieve a little better situation, put the money back in the savings account. It was really reserved in our minds for big projects like buying the Lama Atisha statue or possibly some other spiritually related thing here at the center. And I should mention, what about the hopes for erasing the deficit? We do have a wide variety of financial situations among our members, and some have a good deal of money and some really don't. And of course we want to provide our programs to everyone regardless of that. But we do have, for example, if you were thinking of a large gift and you thought, well, I'd be crazy to give X thousands of dollars, I'd really be way out there, other people don't do that. Every year we normally receive some sort of gift of about $20,000 from someone, and every year we usually receive $10,000 from 2 or 3 people, and we receive $5,000 from more people than that. So if you do happen to be in possession of money and would like to do something good with it, the center, you would not be a lunatic way out in outer space if you gave us a big gift. Other people do it every year. They're just, I know we Buddhists are, you know, always thinking, well, money doesn't bring happiness and all kinds of things, but of course we have to have it in order to make the place run, and you would not be a crazy outlier if you made a big gift. For those who can, and those who can't, it's perfectly okay. So, planning next year's budget. We are happy that we already have the draft budget. It's going to be online on our website. And the board's already reviewed it once, and we'll be doing that again. And the present plan for 2019 is we've put in an allowance for up to a 2% pay increase for our 4 employees. Our center director has not directed that anything be done about that yet, but it's in the budget. We aren't planning any special projects, and we are going to try to balance the income and expense at $262,800, which is the same as this year's budget, within like 300 or 400. So basically, we're going to try to continue the Sunday teachings and the classes and the children's program and camp and the meditations and the visiting teachers and the retreats and everything else just about at exactly the same level next year as this year, and therefore the expenses are going to be just about exactly the same. So that's what that's the plan at the moment. And if you would like to have any input in that, you're welcome to talk to me or any board member, and we're still making the plans for next year. So the proposed 2019 expenses. Here's the way we think it's going to break down. This is the plan. Of course, it never happens exactly this way, but so personnel, by that we mean the salaries, the payroll taxes, the housing allowance, a little support for our nuns, travel, auto, insurance, retirement adds up to $155,000, or about 59% of the budget. Spiritual program expenses, about 3 committees, the children's program and the prison project, about 7%. Facility operating, which means paying the mortgage and utilities and everything like that, 18%. Administration, buying the bookstore goods, $12,000, all adds up to $262,800, and on paper here, of course, it balances. And we would be so happy if, in fact, at the end of next year, it did balance. And the proposed income for next year, here's what, where we theorize it's going to come from. The annual appeal, the monthly and one-time giving, we are going to be asking for $204,000 in total in that campaign this year. That would be 78% of all the money we need to run the place. And then everything else is far more minor. The general giving, about 6%, spiritual programs 5%, bookstore 6 or 7%, committees 5%, adding up to $262,800. Or to just reiterate the annual appeal, we've set the goal at $204,000, of which we're hoping that monthly pledges would bring in $123,000. That's where you make a pledge on a form or on the web, and normally people just have it automatically deducted by our financial processor from their credit card, their debit card, their checking account, and it just automatically flows in every month. That's how, I mean, people are welcome to actually walk in here with a check or cash, but that's not normally the way things are being done these days, where most of it is traveling electronically to us. And then the one-time gifts, $81,000, that's the same as we budgeted last year, and that's from those members who like to give a big gift, often near the end of one year or the beginning of the next year. And so that would add up to $204,000. So our long-term financial plans. Well, every year we have a budget that says we're going to break even. And some years we do a little better, and some years we don't quite make it. Last year we fell about $20,000 short, and that reduced the cash with which we entered this year, which is why, in fact, our checking account balance, one reason why it's so low. So I want to make the point that we balance spending money and volunteer work. We know that some people do have funds they can give and some don't. Some people have volunteer time they can give and some don't. And it's all welcome and it's all needed to make the center go. What's on our wish list? Well, paying down or paying off our mortgage. And secondly, growing our long-term fund. I haven't mentioned that. We do have a very modest account at Vanguard Investments. It's in stocks and bonds there. And it only has $4,000 in it. We call it the long-term fund, and it's intended for, say, someday when we need to remodel our space here, or possibly, you know, redo the classroom building or something, just long-term needs. And you know, if somebody wanted to give designated for that, that's okay. There's only $4,000 there. That's the total of our assets. That 4,000 plus the 26, I believe we have in checking and savings right now. That's all the cash we've got. There is good news though, in the sense that we only owe $54,000 on the mortgage, which means that we own about 90% of this property and buildings. The bank has title to about 10%. And we're hoping, of course, in the next 30 months to change that to where we own it all. And then there in red, the wish list, create the IRA retirement plan. We did that this year, so we got that done. So wrapping things up here, for 2017 we had about 100 monthly supporters who paid an annual appeal donation every month. This year we've had about 110, and we hope to add to it next year. Becoming an annual supporter is something that you can do. Jill will be telling you a lot about it in the next month or two here. And you can do it here. Normally we do it in the fall, but anybody who joins or decides to make a commitment throughout the year is welcome to start. And very welcome to begin monthly donations. And we're continuing to try to make the annual appeal a bigger and bigger part of our fundraising. We have sort of minimized other appeals during the year. We used to have a lot of occasions where we asked for donations. We've sort of minimized that and in fact shifted more and more to raising the money through the annual appeal. From the standpoint of trying to run the center, it is really good because we actually have something on paper that shows what we think is going to come in, rather than just have it be completely unknown. For example, if people do make donations when we have a visiting teacher, but it's not always certain that they're going to be here or who it's going to be or how much will be given. And so if we depend on that, you just don't know whether you're going to have income or not. So a detailed copy of the 2017, 18, and 19 budgets and expense reports are on our website at kadampacenter.org, About Us Budget Reports. So you can look at them there if you really want to see a detail of about 100 different accounts that we have for income and expense. So in conclusion, all of the activity here depends on your generosity of volunteer time and dollars. Thank you, and keep up the good work. And if anybody had a question now, I think we'd have time for one or two. Yes, there's one in the back there. Julie?
Yes, there was somebody named Jill on the personnel slide. Could you mention who she is?
Jill Marie, yes, center manager. Yes, she's right here, and she'll be in charge of our annual appeal. Should I say anything else about her? And Kim?
Yeah, on the proposed expenses for
Yeah.
So one of the line items was administrative expenses.
Yeah.
Like 22,000. Can you just briefly break that down a little bit more as to what administrative expenses really means?
Yes, I can. Administrative expenses. The question is, what is in that category? And the answer is the telephone bill, postage, office supplies, computer equipment, software, accounting and bookkeeping services, audio-video equipment, bank and merchant fees, the building security system, printing the annual appeal, dues and subscriptions to the FPMT, and charitable contributions to the FPMT, and meeting expense to go to the North American FPMT meetings. So that adds up to $22,775. That kind of detail is on the web there if people want to look over all that detail. Yes, ma'am.
I have to ask, I don't want to draw this out too long, but have you thought of slowing the mortgage payment or remortgaging to slow the burn rate per month?
No. Have we thought of slowing the mortgage payments? We originally had a 15-year mortgage, and that is rather necessary. You can make them longer, but then you pay so much in interest. So we were just, you know, in effect challenged ourselves to pay it off in 15. And now with only 30 months left, it's only about 10% of our annual expenses. And so at the moment, anyway, the board's plan is just to go with it and pay the bills until we get it paid off at that rate. I mean, we could lengthen it out some, but we'd actually rather have the feeling that we own the whole building. Okay, I think that's it for now. You're welcome to ask questions later of myself or Robbie or any of the board members.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much. And good morning. So, in the table it says the Wednesday 8:20. So that means we have plenty of time. Sunday. The children program here at the center, I think, doing great jobs. You know, so when we sing the mantras, prayers, and I hear children, they can say by heart four immeasurable prayers and, you know, all the mantras. So that is like helping them without, you know, I say, it's very hard to teach kids, you know. So, but you know, they recite mantras. So there is like, you know, four immeasurable prayer by heart. So that's the result of our children programs. So I'm very, very happy, you know, to hear they're very happy. So benefits them when they grow up, the benefits. So then reciting the mantra here at the center together. So I myself, you know, every day I pray for your happiness, your long, healthy, happy life, not long, healthy, long, miserable life. Long life doesn't mean good, you know, long, healthy, happy life. So I pray for that. So then when we say mantras, everybody participates. So then, believe it or not, it makes change the whole environment. Believe it or not, you say your words being heard from someone else, you know, just hearing the mantras. Particularly medicine Buddha mantra, you know, so like purifies all the sicknesses, obstacles, sicknesses, the obstacles. Then dig deep into all that like negative karma purifies. Just hearing the mantra, purifies, believe it or not. So, and not just that, also like increase lifespan. Sonam is the merit. You know merit. So Tibetan makes in the word it makes sense. Gewa. So there's something that produce good result. Something that you created by verbally, mentally, physically. Then you create something positive. So then they create Gewa, which is called merit. So then, increase also, reciting Medicine Buddha mantra, increase that merit is the result of goodness, all the goodness might appear into form, sound, smell, tactile, visual form. So it appears in different things. The result will appear, means you experience in different types of object, that appears the result of your merit. So reciting Medicine Buddha mantra also increase, not just lifespan, also merit. Lungto ki yunde, cheta sona lungto. Lungto means then knowledge. Then knowledge with experience. With experience means experiential understanding. In Yurgi Nyowa means not just understand, but when you think about that, it kind of something is kind of shifting within, very deep inside you. That's called Yurgi Nyowa, not just understanding with some kind of experience. That you experience that, and so there's technical term is called realizations. So that also increase. Okay, so they just want to share that children programs are doing a wonderful job. So I never ask children they have to say a mantra, they have to say prayer. I never ask. So looks like they're saying it very happily. So that benefits. So whenever their pet gets sick, so then if they can recite Medicine Buddha mantras, even the pet hear the mantra, get benefits. So that's like teaching without, benefiting, not teaching, benefiting without too much talking. So recite mantra, so very happy. I just want to share. I felt quite in my heart this morning when I hear and I look at them. So there's no books, they just sing by the heart. So good. Very young age, you learn immeasurable love. What immeasurable love means, you learn. What immeasurable compassion, you learn. Immeasurable equanimity, you learn. And immeasurable joy that you learn in a very young age. So then when they grow up, so then they have some tendency within in their mind stream, so it will help them greatly. So that's why happy. Now probably back to the class, 7 point, what do you call, mind training. So there's one thing that, so where we stopped last Sunday, this text, if you have the book, it's called 7 point mind training text. So last Sunday, I say training the mind, throughout all our conduct, training the mind verbally. Makes sense? If my pronunciation is not good, then please raise your hand, so I will ask somebody to pronounce. Okay? Verbally train the mind. Chelam kundu tsikijang. Chelam conduct. Kundu means throughout all conduct. Tsikijang means how to say, like thick means verbally trained. So, well, you may remember by heart. You may remember some kind of like teachings, or like some kind of quotations from some books. Then you know like repeat that. No need to repeat very loudly, but saying in your mind. And for example, like no matter like according to Guide to Buddhist Way of Life, chapter number 6 greatly talks about how to manage the anger. Chila Pabjang Dagine Gawine to me. That's just an example. If you remember some quotation from some books, Chila Pabjang, no matter what, Chila Pabjang Dagine is no matter what, I will Gawine to me. I will not stir my peace of mind. So like that, if you remember. So then when you encounter some like undesirable object that you're about to lose your, what do you call, how you say in America, you lose your cool? When you're about to lose your cool. Yeah, lose your cool. So then you repeat, if you remember some material by heart, so then you repeat it, then you just pause and you help yourself, basically the mind training takes means how to master our mind, that's all. How to become, Lama Atisha put it like, how to become your own therapist, the mastering your mind, okay? So the cholam kundu tsikijang, because training the mind is not easy. So therefore, throughout all your conduct, that's what I said, through all your conduct, so then you try to train your mind. When you are cleaning something, it's not just dirt. It's the dirt of anger. It's dirt of attachment. It's dirt of jealousy. That's what you're cleaning. So that's one, like throughout cleaning conduct. So then you think about it, it's not just the dirt. It's not just grease. It's the grease of my troubling thought. I'm cleaning. Helps. That's exactly what it means. Breathing for the betterment of other beings, breathing, eating, all of that. There's many different. There's 100 different mind training texts. So that's one. Okay, so I just explained, I think, last Sunday. So now here, Niju Dibakwe, this is very important. So now, because it happens every day. In our life, it happens not just like, it only happens once a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. It's not like it's happening every day. Niju, environment. Ju, being in environment. Everything's become like very much undesirable. Environment is not good. The being inside environment is not good. What do? Not as a Buddhist, as a human, what do you do? The bottom line, that we are all seeking happiness. That means we need to protect our peace of mind. We need to take full responsibility to learn how to protect our peace of mind. And of course, the trouble with that, not to lose our peace of mind, then plus to generate, to develop more, peace in your mind. Not just Buddhists, if everybody who think, we are equally capable to do that. Okay, everybody who has mind. Niju Dibakwe says, unfavorable conditions. Called so every day. Changchub lamdu changchub. So that's the word for enlightenment. Changchub. So I'm not sure that I've been talking to one of my friends about this meaning. Does it really express the meaning? Like Tibetan words called Changchub, that means state that you achieve the state, there's no more troubling thought. It's all ceased. Every single troubling thought with the seed and tendency is gone. It's gone. It's completely gone for good. So that is the enlightenment need to express that. So that's the meaning of Changchuk. Changchuk, when you reach there, Jingye Changchuk Lam Tujus. Lam is the path that eventually leads you there. It's the path that leads you there. So now here, please think about all of us. Whenever we encounter environment that's so difficult, being inside the environment is all difficult. So now this piece of teaching is saying to us, there is possibilities that you could transform this unmiserable or undesirable circumstance. Refers to beings, environments, and the beings in the environment refers to that. So whatever negative energy that's coming from there, the peacock, the crow, when they eat poison, they die. The peacock, when they eat poison, they transform that energy of the poison and they transform into for their benefit. They glow. Peacock, they glow. Is that true? Huh?
Wikipedia said it was true. I looked it up.
What?
I looked it up on the internet after you said it, and it said.
Internet said that's true. Not sure. So that's been said like thousands of years ago. So they don't have machine to test. Somehow they find out. Peacock eat poison, they glow. Crow eat poison, they die. So if you don't know how to transform, then basically not die, not physically die, but your peace of mind is finished. It's kind of like die. Not physical die, but like your happiness, your peace of mind. But also happiness, that's also a very tricky word. Because deva, how you define happiness. How you define happiness. What is happiness? Is just idea, or is something that you experience? Or is just idea? So like, how is about eating like one of the hottest chili pepper in the world from Bhutan? Is that happiness? Pinching your body, how you say, tattoo? Tattoo? It's painful. When you get tattoo, it's painful. Not just that, it costs thousands of dollars if you get colorful one. Is that happiness? Or it's just idea that you, not by force or like order, you voluntarily bear the pain because of some idea that makes you happy. I'm not sure. I don't have tattoo. Maybe if tattoo brings happiness, I will probably get one. So now, seriously, now the question is, what is happening? Is it just idea behind something, or is it like something physical that you get, or what? You have a word in English called happiness. With Tibetan, we have a word, it's called deva. So deva then divided into two, physical, mental. Or maybe like all the the how you say, good experience that we have, is that just temporary, or is just physical, or we occasionally experience mental happiness. Most of the time that we experience, that's pretty much like physical. If it's physical, then it won't be there all the time because it's very much depending on, when you say in the Buddhist philosophy, when you say physical, it refers to five senses. Five senses, that's what's called physical. So then beside five senses, if you're experiencing something, then that's called mental. There's like six, there are six consciousness, the last one, the mental consciousness. So there's kind of, like I had big discussion in Patagonia, Argentina, about happiness. What is happiness? They drink, what they do, they drink mate. Mate? Do you know mate? It doesn't taste good at all. It doesn't taste sweet, it doesn't taste salty, it is kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure, like, but people enjoy it, people drink so much, they enjoy very much. Is that, what is happiness? What is happiness? Is this idea? Yeah, people who like spicy, they like to have one of the hottest one. Give them more satisfaction, I'm not sure. What do you say? Satisfaction? Sure. Yes. Hottest chili pepper that gives you, when your mouth is burning, they give you satisfaction. So now it's kind of tricky, you know. It's kind of like it's all about mind. It's all about mind, or is there something really that you label? Oh, this is happening. Everybody touch here, they'll be like full of happiness, or something like that, or it's just something about mind. If it's the mind, so that's good. We all have mind. We all have mind. Not just Buddhist, not just Tibetan, not just American. We all have mind. If it's a part of mind, there's something we can do. So now here, same. This is nothing to do with the physical. No, this is all about attitude and the thought, the power of thought, power of attitude. See, you have some cuts in your hand or part of your body, but you don't feel. Did you ever experience like that? What happened at the moment? At that moment, what's happening? Why you are not feeling the pain? Why? Maybe there's so much excitement. Something's happening within deep, something's happening. Or maybe you are so much focused on something. You know, that happens. If you focus, if you put all your attention on the visual form, if somebody says something, you may hurt somebody's calling your name. You might heard some noise, but your ear consciousness corresponding with the sound, while you are 100% concentrate on the visual image, but your ear consciousness is still active, but heard the sound, but not able to apprehend. That's called nang la mange. That's like that happens. So much focus on the sound, something moves here, but see, but not able to apprehend. So that's the power of thought. Power of thought. People walk on barefoot. Certain part of Japan, I'm not sure, they do this like spiritual practice. They walk on. Physical, no matter what, it will get burned. Physical, that's nature. No matter if you wear the robe, it's not going to protect from fire. It's going to burn. Why? How? With little pain. Oh, the power of thought. Oh, see, power of thought. Cannot be underestimated. So, you have experience, I have experience. I already told the stories when I was a young boy back in the monastery. So in the monastery, there's no TV. One day, me and my friend, we are like 14, I'm not sure, 13 or 14. We skipped the class. We ran out from the class, went to the town to watch video. There's somebody's house, they're showing some TV. You pay a few bucks, then you get in, watch. We went there, so ran so fast because there's limited time, so the class will end around 10 o'clock. You have to get back, otherwise you're going to be in trouble from your teacher. You run so fast, watch the movie, come back, and your feet is all, you're running onto the cornfield. Cornfield, they just finish, and it's all like, pow. And there's all kinds of things, like corn stalk, and the stone, like, then of course a lot of anxiety, fear to get caught and run. when you come back, then you say, oh, class is not over, so now I cheated my teacher, I was happy. Just relax. Then you feel all kind of pain. Then you look down, so many cuts. Then moment you don't feel because you are so focused. I experienced that. It's not good way, but so like that, so how to transform these difficult like situations refers to environments and the beings in the environment. How to transform that experience into something that will lead you to high state. You understand? So that you just forget about the high state. That's like Buddhahood. That's like state. There's no disturbing thought, troubling thought. It's gone with the seed. There's nothing that will reach. There's nothing to trigger because there's no seed. It's gone. There's nothing to trigger. Right now, even though you are not angry, but there's seed there. If something happens that will trigger the seed, then you get angry. There's seed. There's tendency. When you reach that stage, there's nothing to trigger. There's no seed. There's no tendency. All the troubling thought gone with the tendency and seed, completely gone for good. So just set that aside. Just think about practical level, day-to-day life. What do you do? How to transform? What it requires? Of course, it requires some knowledge. So, to do something to think. Then, according to the teachings, there are 3 different ways you could do that. One, through knowledge of karma. You can do that, knowledge of karma. One, through bodhicitta, means altruistic attitude, bodhicitta, the mind that desires for betterment of all other beings. Then based on that, there's a second way to transform this kind of situation into the path that will lead you to, better place. Ultimately, the Buddhahood. But before that, there's many levels. At least it protects your peace of mind. At least you don't lose your peace of mind. There's many different layers. Then the last one, so many anxiety, fear, all kinds of disturbing thought. Rooted in where? Is rooted in notion of self. Or holding so tightly on self, or notion of self. So just think about, I'm just throwing you some information out there, and you are very smart. American people is considered one of the smartest people on this planet. So it means everybody kind of reads and writes. My village probably, out of 100%, 1% can read. There's only 1% who can read and write. Rest, they don't know how to read and write. If you write A in like size of the donkey, people don't know. It's A or it's B. Or if you write it down, upside down, they couldn't tell different. They don't know how to read and write. So, notion of self. Notion of self is something that's been studied, that been did so much research and written hundreds of books about that. I'm not really happy. So there's a when you say I, what do you mean I? What do you mean self? Did we ever bother to analyze? All this fear, anxiety, all the all this troubling thought is produced by a notion of self. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you agree with me? Not with me, with Tess, I should say. Not me. So I didn't make this up. It's already been said. If you think, oh, this body is me, is that correct or incorrect? Just think about that. When you talk about this body, according to Buddhist philosophy, you are talking about five aggregate, collection of five aggregate. When you look at your body, if you think, oh, that's me, you probably need to go a little deeper. To, how is it, this is result of mother's egg and the father's sperm. That's what it is. This body is. If you put it in a glass, can you put it in a glass? Yeah, you could put it in a glass, you know, if there's physical, and say that's you. Hard to believe how that can be me, but that's actually what it's become. This become from there. Just think about yourself. Do we understand nature of self or not? Do we understand nature of self or not? So that's what we call, the English word is called emptiness. So then a lot of my friends say, oh, Geshe, emptiness, that's not really good translations. And people don't get what you're trying to say. You know, emptiness in Buddhism called Tongpanyi is something very profound. Tongpanyi is something very profound. But when I use word emptiness, if people hear, oh, nothingness, that's nihilism. That's not good. It doesn't mean nothingness. It means something very profound. That's what people should understand. So now, my English is not, very good. So I'm not in the position to find the perfect word for emptiness in English. So there are many professors, so they write also a great deal of book, or some of them who speak English, who can read in Tibetan. So then maybe they're probably in the position to, create some word that carry the meaning of emptiness, not just, Tongpanyi. That's literally translation of word Tongpanyi. Emptiness is the literally translation of word Tongpanyi. Tibetan word Tongpanyi means something very deep. It doesn't mean like nothingness. So there's the third way to transform this, like difficult circumstance into something that will protect your peace of mind, or it will encourage you to further development of inner peace. So that's according to the text. There's three different. First one is based on knowledge of causality or karma. The second, bodhicitta. Then the third, the deeper knowledge of emptiness. These three things will help you to transform this difficult circumstance into something that creates a space that you can pause and think, not explode right away. So then beside that, what else we can do? Beside these three, method, what else we can do? So compassion is already included in the bodhicitta. When you talk about bodhicitta, compassion is already included there. Without compassion, there will be no bodhicitta. So beside that, what else we can do if you can contribute? What else? Then like last Wednesday, I think this is last Wednesday, avoiding object. For beginner, avoiding object. Here, what do you say? Space. I need space. That's also been mentioned, that is avoiding the object. For a beginner, sticking with the object, then trying to apply antidote, that's going to be hard, very difficult. If you avoid the object, so then your troubling thought will die down. You not die down right away, not die down like instant coffee, but it died down. So just take slowly, it died down. If you stick with the object, Yeah, we all have experience, you know. We all get sometimes angry, sometimes upset. We all had experience. It's not something that we never experienced. We had experience. It's not easy. Once the negative, troubling thought takes over, can see clearly. Same. All the way from the pop, all the way from pop, not the popcorn, pop, to newborn child. When troubling thought rise, it's over. It's over. The wearing robe doesn't help. If the robe helps, then I can order a bunch of them, then distribute it to you. You can wear. It doesn't help. When the troubling thought rise, it's finished. It is over. Happiness is over. Peace of mind is over. So that mind or that thought needs to be trained. Daily basis needs to be trained, slowly needs to be trained. So then whenever you encounter some kind of situation, you have so many resources to think about rather than just focusing on that particular event. So beside now, maybe now time is over, so maybe next time we will talk about, beside, as I mentioned, knowledge about karma, knowledge about bodhicitta, knowledge about emptiness, these three things, these are three methods how to transform this undesirable circumstance into something that will at least protect your peace of mind or encourage you to develop, encourage you to develop your mind. So beside these three things has been mentioned in the text. So beside these three things, what we can do, maybe next Sunday we'll discuss then please contribute what one should do, what you do. Point is to protect your peace of mind. It's very critical. It's critical for your healthy mind, basically a healthy mind. It's very important for your health. It's very, very important for your, internal world. Very important for your family or your kids, your pets. If you are not happy, even the pet sense, even I'm not sure of a cat, but dog usually sense that you are not happy, or like that. So that's the bottom line. How to protect my peace of mind, seek up betterment of all living beings, or my family, or my friend, or my relatives. That's the point. That's the point. Not talking about how to become Buddhist, talking about how to protect your mind. That's very important. So then, so if everybody learns that, then the world will be a better place to live, because people, you say something, people, you say, oh, you don't look good. Oh, then you transform that, oh, are you asking me to have pizza? Maybe in you, like probably somebody asking you, do you want pizza? No different. Somebody could say. There is no, because mind is so well armored. Your mind is well armored. So then from the emptiness, like what? It's like right now everything's so serious. Everything, so somebody give you look, that's very serious thing. When you realize, when you have some knowledge of emptiness, you meditate on emptiness, when you get out of this meditation, then everything's like dream. Everything is like dream, So they're like, not dream, it's like dream, like illusions. It's not dream, it's not illusion, it's happening, but it's like dream, like illusions. So that's the diagonal. You could say concentration like illusions, that you develop concentration like illusions. you develop that. Meditating on emptiness, going deep into emptiness, then when you come out of that, then you generate this kind of concentration like illusions that allows you to see when you come out. Somebody says something that's like dream, it doesn't really bother. So you are being chased by elephant in your room. The room is not big enough to hold elephant, but you are being chased by elephant in your room. But when you wake up, there's no elephant. But the dream is like, feel like you are being chased by a real elephant. Then you try to run, then your muscle, what do you call?
Your muscles twitch.
Then you cannot run longer. That happens when you wake up. There's no elephant, nothing. So that's exactly what you see. Concentration like illusion, coming out of meditation, emptiness allows you to see everything. Everything is like illusion, like dream. So then nothing bothers because your mind is well armored. Somebody prays, somebody criticizes, pretty much same, not much different. Oh, so that's the goal. Okay, so sorry, so now time's over now. So next Sunday, then please, if you can contribute how when we encounter circumstance, environment, being in the environment, everything's turned so negative, what do you do? They're saying in Tibetan, so I'll stop, I'll definitely stop. One more sentence. They're saying in Tibetan, Kipurangi machenas. If you don't make yourself you are happy, if you don't make yourself happy, other people makes your life miserable. So, yeah.
Were you able to not have any negative thoughts or feelings when you were listening to the financial presentation about the center?
Oh, sorry, because I didn't pay attention. So I'm very sorry, I didn't pay attention. I was just saying mantras. So, because, I don't have any responsibility for money here. So they take everything. I have no idea how much money the center has, what they do. So I usually, come here, do my Mickey Mouse talk. So yeah, of course, I have not I have negative thoughts. Not just one, many of them, But every day I try. And I being monk since 7 years old now, over like centuries. No centuries, no centuries, over half centuries. The one quality, tiny quality that I have is like I don't hold on. If something happens, I might get upset. It happened right there. Then after it's gone. It's gone. I don't hold on, and I don't hold on, and I don't wish anything bad for any other living beings, and I pray every day. So so there's the progress. Last 30 years, I see, that I get upset. I get emotional. I get upset. So, but when I get upset, I don't hold on, and I digest them. And I walk with my mind, and I let it go. So there's no tiny quality that I don't hold on. Even though somebody did something very bad to me, I don't hold on. Over a period of time, then slowly, in the beginning it's hard, then slowly I manage to let it go. But I'm full of negative thoughts. So then you see, then he talks very well, because I study all of them. 20 years, I study all the materials. I know all the materials quite well. But my mind is not well armored. So don't try to poke me. Just joking, same. So I'm just walking every day, walking with my mind. So, but I am not nearly freedom. I'm nearly free from the negative mind. I have tons of them. I'm working with my negative mind. front of them. So same, very same. Okay. So finance part, sorry, I feel, I say, not good, not paying attention because I don't have responsibility. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, so the next Sunday we'll talk. So now time is way over. So again, David, thank you very much. And thank you, each and every one of you who contributed to the center. As I said many times, some of you may think, oh, this is Geshe Gelek Center. This is not my center. This is not my center. I don't control here. This is my center. It's our center. So it belongs to each and every one of us. So because of you, this center, so maybe you may, some of you may not know, because before that, we are meeting in the basement of one office building, only like holds very kind of like small. So because of your contributions, now we moved to this nicer place. It's for you, the stupa is for you, this building is for you, it's not for me. So I have big monastery in India. I don't need monastery, I have monastery, so I can go. So this everything the center does for you, then you are doing for center. Then when you helping the center, that you are helping not just the physical place, you are helping all the people who walk through this. A person who donated this floor, now she's gone. She donated this floor, whole floor. And she's my friend. She said her mother give her eye, and Dharma, the teaching, give her ear or something. So she donated this floor. Now see everybody using it. So I try to, every day when I come here, try to remember her. When I step on this floor, try to remember and send my positive thought prayers. So because of that, now that person is gone many years ago, so still helping here. So this is our center. So if I contribute a little bit by my talking, that's good. If you contribute, it's our center. So I'm not just saying this to make you happy. That's from my point of view, that's truth. That's our center. So then you contributed here. So I just take some, this opportunity to express my deep appreciation from my heart. So all the children now that get benefiting because of your contributions. So many people. Some of them already went to Nepal, now studying in the monastery, because through this Kadampa center. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm dedicated.
You turn to page 246 in the Gold Prayer Book, and we'll read the dedication from Master Shantideva. So it's on the back of the page that says Kadampa Center Prayers in the white binder. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain a notion of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, with the mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Om Taritu Taritu Re Soha. 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 Om Taritu Taritu Re Soha.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, and have a nice weekend.
Announcements, please. Elise, may I program. Today, this afternoon at 3 o'clock, we're having an interfaith prayer service at the Unity of the Triangle Church. Details are on a poster by the back door. It's going to be really awesome. We have at least 6 different faiths represented, including the Sai Baba Children's Choir, which is really great. The food drive for people and pets. After just 1 week of collecting, we got 580 pounds of food, which is 488 meals. And so we have 1 more week to go till next Sunday. Let's try to beat that. That's all of the Hurricane Florence victims and many other people really depend on the food bank. They cooperate with all of these crisis cleanup programs and programs for the victims. So please bring your food. Let's make 650 pounds next week. Yesterday we had our Adopt a Stream program coordinated with the outreach and the family program. We had 6 adults and 3 children and put together almost 8 big bags of garbage from the stream. So it was really awesome. Thank you all very much.
Hello, I'm from the Serenity Gardeners here at the center. We are trying to do a flower bulb drive again this year. So if you happen to have like daffodils, irises, crocuses, hyacinths, Dutch iris, Siberian iris, those types of bulbs, if you wouldn't mind donating, we would greatly appreciate it. Geshe has always said, even today, that this is our center, so we want this to be a place where everybody feels at peace and have a sense of serenity, so please help out. Thank you.
When's the next gardening day?
Oh, the last Saturday of every month is gardening day, so if you want to volunteer and help, we'll take any volunteers. Oh, it starts at, during this time period, it's going to be from 9 to about 11 o'clock, excuse me.